What's up, world, and welcome to Running Back Podcast. I'm your boy Javi.
I'm Omega Green. D-Lo here.
We got Cha-Cha in the building, double C, double H, double A, taking you all the way with the running back. Fresh flavor, new recipe, so stay tuned because it's going to be real tasty.
Finger licking good.
Yay.
Omega, how you feeling today?
I am feeling pretty good, man. As anybody who knows me personally knows that I stay busy constantly, but that's all for a purpose. I'm always
Facts.
building towards something, working towards something, making things happen in one form or another. Recently just got a new position offered to me at a different place.
Hey, congrats.
So that's going to be a step up,
That's
a
what's
little
up.
bit more stability, but also is interesting because some of the people that will be employing me are interested in emerging markets with things that I'm already doing. So into the future, it's quite possibly going to get quite lucrative as long as things don't get too bad on the outside situation, economically.
Come on.
But all in all,
He's a businessman.
Get money.
I'm doing pretty
Yes,
good,
sir.
bro.
Get it.
That's what's up.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good, not even gonna lie. Job is working me down
As
to
they
the bare
will.
bone,
Yup.
but it's rewarding because I'm getting closer to my staff. They have a better understanding, especially my supervisors. They're starting to get really close with each other and communicate, and it's making it a better workplace. I'm trying to ease up their struggles so they can focus on the things they need to
Right.
and help out where they need to. So that's winning. But boy, when I tell you 26,000 steps through that hospital a day,
Yeah, that's a lot.
wearing me down. I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah.
need a knee replacement. Double. By the time I'm 40.
Double.
And that's just 5 years away. But all in all, it's good. I'm making good money. I'll be moving into a new apartment by the end of May. So,
Congrats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congrats. Yeah.
Yeah.
but I got some things to work on with my credit that is about to take effect. So it'll be better for me trying to transition. But y'all know a lot of America has credit issues. I just so happened to gain a lot when I decided to leave my husband. So
That's how it goes sometimes.
yeah.
Yep.
But it was worth it in the end, and I'm excited for this new chapter because I'm excited. I'm gonna succeed really well.
Oh,
Hell
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
But enough about me, D-Lo. How you feeling?
It's been kind of slow on the work end. It's kind of making me mad because it get we get paid every 2 weeks, so it's 80 hours.
Right.
Mm.
I get to like this week, I ended out with 77.9.
Oh,
Nice.
hot.
So it's
You
like
said nice.
it's like that barely. It's like right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just I'm hoping that they'll, because here lately they've been asking people for BTO. Which,
Voluntary time off.
yeah, which I'm telling people you'll never see my name on that list.
Facts. I
unless
need my coin.
unless there is like I need it, but
Yeah.
other than that, like you'll never see my name up on there. But so I'm hoping that this kind of will thin things out with people not wanting to work and to be there and help other people get their hours. So, but other than that, dealing with all this rain, can't complain.
Right.
Then
I mean, rain is good. The
I don't
mosquitoes is about to be creeping though, so
Yeah.
I'm not excited about that.
yeah, it's been kind of making me slow on doing the Amazon thing. 'Cause I ain't trying to
Oh,
deliver.
yeah.
I ain't trying to deliver packages at 3
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning with the rain and stuff.
So the extra income ain't even coming in.
Nah.
I feel that.
Cha-Cha, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling a year older. You know, my birthday was on April Fool's Day.
You know
so,
it.
Happy
so
belated.
yeah, thank you. I'm happy to see another year. You know, I didn't do much. You know, I sat in. It was rainy, so I hung out with a couple of the boys. You know, the good thing about my birthdays is around the NCAA Final Four, you know, the Elite Eight, National Championship. So it gives me extra stuff to do, extra sips to take, you know.
Yeah.
I know,
Got me a new car.
I was
Come
waiting. I was
on.
waiting for the invitation to go to Red Mile.
Oh man, yeah. I wanted to go, but my boy was like, it's gonna monsoon. I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, he's like, well, you know, you're gonna be drinking. You know, I don't want you to be out there in that rain. I'm like, veteran at this, man. I feel like I'm ready to get this money. You know, it's my birthday. I feel lucky.
Money.
I feel lucky, and it didn't happen. But you know, I went on FanDuel. I did win on FanDuel.
Yes, you did.
I
Big
won on
money.
FanDuel. I won some baseball money. Yeah, and then I won again yesterday.
Hey,
I won about $400.
What is the secret recipe?
More money, more money.
That's it. Hey, we'll talk about that on another
Yeah,
segment.
Okay.
Be one of my Let's Talk About It segments. But
Let's talk
but
about
you know, like I said, I just purchased a new car
Right.
Wednesday.
and how is that?
Oh boy, it's a 2023 Genesis G70. I actually came and picked up D-Lo. I've been working on this. You were talking about working on your credit. I've been doing the same thing. I've been paying off for credit cards, and this has actually been in the works since 2024. So it feels good to see it all come together, and I make it happen. So yeah, they put new tires. We test drove it Wednesday, D-Lo and I, and they were like, "You want to take it home and bring it back?" I'm like, "No. I made it this far. You know, y'all go on, keep it. Do what y'all need to do. But Thursday I'll be back." So I went back over there and I picked it up, and yeah, it's a good feeling. It's I'm gonna be sitting in all weekend reading that manual. The G70. Shout out to Genesis. It's got a lot of features.
Hey, tell them
Yeah.
if they want to sponsor us.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, 'cause you
Genesis.
just gave them a whole plug.
Yeah,
For free.
yeah. Shout out to Genesis. I'm loving it already. So yeah, the G70 series 2023 model. It feels real good. Yeah, I've had a few people in the car. You know, my mom, one of my sisters, a couple of my boys, and they like dapping me up and like, yeah, you know, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
now I haven't had a car payment since 2016. Lord, if you're listening, help.
All right,
But anyway, yeah. So that's the story of how I'm feeling. But you know, so if that's it for all of that, America, stay tuned because we're gonna get into it. Be back shortly. Welcome back, America. So this is Cha-Cha. I'm gonna start it off today. My segment is Let's Talk About It. So let me ask all of you guys. My question today is, should a high schooler, whether they're 9th, 10th, or 11th grade, and 12th or a senior, should they have control over a teacher calling them something other than their government name? And let me give you an example. Let's just say I was a junior in high school, or let's just say I was a freshman, and I wanted to be called, my name is Charles, and let's just say I wanted to be called Devin. And the teacher, we did a roll call, and the teacher was like, Charles, and I said, no, I want to be called Devin. The last name is fine, but I want to be called Devin.
Yeah.
Should a teacher be able to do that, change their name, without getting consent from the parent or having the parent get involved first? Should the child have free will to make that decision on their own?
I think
I'm not entirely
I think-
sure I understand the question.
I think the parent.
Okay, wait a minute, hold on. He's not understanding the question. So before the teacher makes the decision
Yes.
to call Charles Devin,
Yeah.
should they get permission? Should the teacher get permission from the parent?
Oh, okay.
That's what
so
I'm
say-
saying. Should the child be able to do that without consent from the parent? Because what if the parent says no? The parent would
So-
say no. So the teacher has. Hold up, D-Lo. Damn. I know you got it, man.
I'm trying to break it down simply.
I know, man. I'm over here. He's all in there like.
I think he's
I
catching
got
up.
you though. I got you.
Yeah.
Though.
Okay. Now,
I
D-Lo.
think-
Okay, so say one of your kids want to go by a different name
At school.
Yeah.
at school.
Yeah.
would you want that, or would you want to be brought up to you first?
To be completely honest, if my kid wanted to go by a different name, it would already be a known thing before they ever went to school. Like, I mean, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, that's a different
Right.
scenario.
You
So
know?
That's a different scenario altogether. Let's just say that the parent doesn't know. So
Yeah.
let's add that. Let's just say that you were not aware, because
Well,
because in some situations, whether it's the child, may be living, might be a male but
Right.
feels like a woman.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
might
no,
want
I
to be
got you.
called a woman's name, and so it's not easy to present that to the surface.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even know.
No, I got you. Well, I basically feel like at the end of the day, through all of it, it really is about that individual person, whether they're a child or not, like expressing who it is that they want to be, who it is they feel like they are. I want to be called this, whatever. That's them expressing
Right.
themselves. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be honest to the world and themselves. So I feel like for a parent to be like, no, is, I don't know. There's a fine line, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But when it comes down to it, it's like it's the difference between like,
So basically, you want to take the parents' consent out of it altogether. Then they shouldn't have a say in it at all.
Okay,
Because
well,
some might say yes and some might say no.
Well,
but
exactly.
the
Well,
parent
like-
has the final say.
I feel like there's layers to it because
Right.
it's like from
Yeah.
a social perspective, it's like a parent's going to want to, and even then, like parenting differs depending on who you talk
it
to.
does.
So some people are more open and understanding and willing to basically kind of give their kid the experience and the comfortability
And
to
the permission to be themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Which I mean,
But
obviously,
I
you
also
shouldn't really need
understand-
permission to be yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, I
And that's a
also
good point,
understand.
Harvey. Say that again, women. Say that for America. Say that one more time.
It gives them the permission to be themselves authentically.
Okay.
I
Okay.
feel like it depends on the parent because you don't know how the parent's gonna react. So it's the teachers gauge on that essentially because they should be in communication with the parent already because
Okay.
that's their student
Yeah.
and their parents should be in the loop with everything.
Right.
My thing is if a kid, it depends on if the kid wants his name changed or her name changed or their name changed because they just go by this as a nickname or it's their middle name or is this something that they want to identify as?
Right.
Like this is who I am authentically. When it comes down to that, I feel like that should be a discussion between the parent and the teacher. But I feel like the teacher should also be like, okay, well, I will call you this if it's a just name. I will call you this, but when you write your name on paper on these tests, you need to write your actual name that's on your birth certificate.
And that's a good point. And that's
See,
a good point.
And
That is a good
that's
point.
what I was gonna say with mine. Like I think if the teacher keeps the parent in the loop, it's not really giving the teacher permission, but just kind of lets the parent know on because I take it from when I was a kid. I didn't tell my mom everything. I mean, I told my dad everything just because I was my dad and
You're just closer with your dad.
yeah. Well, my dad and my relationship was kind of more of a best friend instead of a son and father.
Right.
But like there were certain things that I couldn't go to my mom about.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it just it kind of puts a parent on where the kid's mind state is because the kids act differently towards a teacher than they would their parent. But it depends on the name too.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
It's all about
I feel like there's layers to it too. 'Cause if
There's a
it's-
lot of layers.
If it's something as simple as like, yo, like you said, this is my nickname. That's something different than being like, I want to identify as this or that. But
And
I'm
I think
also
it's more
like,
along the lines of that. I think that's
well,
the case.
it-
I mean, I think that's more of what can be the issue if it's a nickname
but-
because if you just want to be called because you've been that all through your whole life. What is your real name, but what do you like to be called?
Oh yeah, gotcha.
So that's different than saying, okay, when we take roll, I want this to be my name. This I don't want to be Charles anymore. I want to be Dante McCann or whatever, Charlene Charlesetta McCann. So
Yeah. So you mean
so-
like identifying as
yeah, I
some
think
other
and
gender
right.
or
It's So
Yeah, gotcha.
that's the layer that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it depends on the scenario.
Yes.
I want to know
Which-
what the audience thinks of this. So, audience
Right.
out there, let us know what your response
Yes,
is. to
because
this.
well, before they respond or before they get deep into thought, let me take you all on my journey where I'm going with this because this is going to be interesting. So, in Florida, at a high school,
Right.
in a high school,
Yeah.
what did you say?
Okay, no,
But
no,
of
no.
course it's Florida. It's always
Of
some
course,
crazy
it's always
story.
Florida,
Always
damn it.
Florida.
Damn you, Florida DeSantis, Governor DeSantis, why?
I don't know. To all the progressive people that happen to be in Florida,
DeSantis not.
wherever you are, under the rock.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, in 2023, going into the school year 2023 to 2024, Florida came up with a law called the Sunshine State Law.
Oh, that's what. Okay,
The
got
Sunshine State Law, where you have to include the parent. The teacher has to consult the
Yeah.
parent. They have to
Gotcha.
because it's the law.
Okay.
So it can, so a child, a high schooler can put a teacher in the middle of something because, even if you tell them it's the law, they may still define it because, like you said, because of their individuality.
Right.
But the law states that
You're obligated to report
to
something.
the,
or-
you have to
yeah.
before you start calling them that.
Right.
Before you start calling them whatever the student wants, you have to consult the
Yeah.
parent.
Okay.
This teacher did not do that.
Oh, so she broke
She
the
did
law.
not do that. So
Right.
she
broke the law.
yes,
Yeah.
basically that's what yes, there you go.
Yeah.
I like the way you did that. America,
quote,
y'all didn't see
unquote.
that, but Omega put up the
quote, unquote. Yeah.
broke the law because
Yeah.
because they're firing her.
All right. So, if I may, well, this kind of comes back to the scenario that I was going to bring up a second ago. Is that like there's layers to it, but that's also why I'm like, you think about the student-parent relationship, you think about the student-teacher relationship, and how they meet in between.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, like, yes, communication needs to be open and stuff, but I'm sure you all are familiar, probably directly or peripherally.
At this point, just put cameras in the classroom.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying.
Facts. I mean, you can see
Sometimes-
everything your kid is doing.
Well,
No, I mean,
well,
sometimes,
go ahead, because I'm gonna respond to that too. Stick a pin in that, hobby. I like that comment. Go ahead, Omega.
All right.
I'm just
Sometimes
saying.
kids come to school and they come from an abusive background.
Yeah.
They come from a father figure that might be, I'm alpha male and everything,
Yeah.
and just like not understanding or accepting of anything remotely different of what they can conceive. So I could see how in an environment where the kid comes from that type of household to where they feel like they can't be themselves or they're forced to be something other, they
Right.
get into the school system and maybe there's a good teacher, a good person who's actually like open and understanding and willing to work with them, and is that bit of light in their life that they kind of need, in all honesty. And that's when you might have that exchange to where they're like, yo, this is who I am, this is who I want to be called, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
the teacher's like, you know what, I understand. And this also goes to another layer to where it's like, well, okay, the law is one thing, like I get all that, but the law does not dictate morality.
Right. But the law is law, and she's going to bear the brunt of this blow because now she's not getting fired immediately. She's under contract. They've decided to. It was not messy.
Are they going to re-educate her?
No, they're just not going to they're not going to renegotiate a contract. They're not going to re-sign her contract. Ends in
gotcha.
2026.
Gotcha.
They're not renewing her contract, so she's done. But the students, they've been protesting. They've got a petition. They've got a website. They've got like 18,000 signatures because they don't want that to happen to her. So this is what my issue is. This is what my issue is because, of course, you all know I'm older.
Mm-hmm.
I'm older. Back to what you said, Hobby. Before I go through, you said just put a camera in the classroom and watch. Why would you want to do that?
I mean, because if it's like comes down to like the parents has to have say so in everything that's going on in the classroom, then they need to be present to see what's going on in the classroom. So therefore, in order to be seeing what's going on in the classroom, why not put a camera in there so you can monitor your kid? So if your kid starts to do something in the classroom or something comes up, you can review that footage of that classroom and what your kid did. So now there's no here, there's no theirs, there's no she said, there's no he said. You have it in front of you. What are you going to do with that information?
I don't know.
Right.
I feel
So-
a lot of different ways about it.
So
I
right,
mean, I do
no,
too at the same time. But when you talk about like a situation where the parent has to be notified for every little thing, even a nickname, then you need to be allowing that parent to see what their kid is doing and why their kid is being called this nickname,
So-
or why they're being addressed that way.
I'm gonna say no to the camera thing, and
I
this
would
is
too,
why.
but-
This is why. This is why.
I'm just
This is
saying.
why because where I'm ready to go.
My
What I was
kid will
saying
be
before I got
homeschooled,
to your
period.
point is because, of course, you all know I just had a birthday. I just turned 57. I'm old school.
Damn,
57.
could have fooled me, bro.
I know it's because I don't have a woman in my life, America. So I'm not.
Not because-
I'm a pretty 57. He's so pretty, the greatest pretty of all time.
He said it's because he's single.
But anyway,
Yeah.
before I lose my train of
I
thought,
got you.
here's the thing for me, and it's no knock on yeah.
you good?
It's no knock on teenagers of today, but when did we start giving them say so? When did we start giving them say so to be able to? Because let me explain. If which I'm not a parent, if I had a child for whatever reason and I named him Charles the Fourth because I'm the third,
Right.
and that little bastard went to school and decided, I don't like the name Charles. I don't like the name Charles. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure everybody's with me on this.
Yeah, we went.
If
No, I got
if they don't like the name Charles and they say, you know what, I hate this name. I hate this name. I hate this name. When I go to school, I'm gonna have them call me Darnell.
Gotcha.
I wish you would.
Yeah, 'cause
I
that's
named
not your
you.
name. That's
Okay,
not your
you
name.
know what? Fine. If you want to change your name, change your name. But guess what? It costs to change your name. And when you get of age, you're more than welcome to change your name. But when you're a minor, you don't get a say so. Everything is not a democracy. And
Right.
that's what I have an issue with, because there shouldn't have even had to be a law created for a teacher to have to consult a parent about a minor.
It should have automatically been doing
A
it.
minor.
It's the
Say it with me, America. A minor that's
I had to.
15, 16, 17, 18, trying to make a grown-up ass decision.
It's the
When
best-
did we? No, let me finish. Because my point is, and I want you to answer to that point. To that point. When did we give minors say so? When did it become a democracy for that? Because that's what makes the playing field a little off balance for the adults like that teacher. She shouldn't have to be fighting for a job because he's a damn minor. He's a minor, and that's all I have to say. Daniel or D-Lo.
My thing is it's the whole best friend error. These parents are trying to be best friends with their kids, and like I said, I can tell from experience that don't work. But it's they're trying to put their kids in grown-up situations, and it doesn't work.
Right. Well, it's bigger than that. But anyway, I digress because we got a lot of input with it, and we're gonna let America think about this. But we're going into our segment with D-Lo. What is your segment called?
Sports Junkie.
Sports Junkie Lounge, baby.
Hey.
So we'll be right back with the Sports Junkie Lounge with
Hey.
D-Lo in the building, baby.
Let's get into it. Let's go.
Yeah.
That was some good macaroni and cheese. I'm ready for the rib.
Yeah.
Hey.
Spicy.
Get into it.
It's right there.
Got him on a hype mic.
Got him.
Oh, we recording?
No, a little
Oh,
bit.
Only the,
I don't
only
think
the
you got
last
that
portion
part.
of that.
That's all right,
Don't
man.
you-
Welcome to the
Shut
Sports Junkie Lounge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Well,
going
we
on,
shushed
D-Lo?
a while that.
Yeah.
But
Let me bring
so we back?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Welcome back, America. Y'all got a little bit of the funny side when we on break.
The flavor.
We took a little break. We watched a little Marvel Avengers stuff in game, and we had a little insight on that. But anyway, D-Lo, Sports Junkie Lounge. What you got for us today, my man?
Man, so when we left off, we was just getting into the SEC tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start off with? We can talk about the end of the season UK. We can talk about the SEC tournament, or we can jump into the NCAA.
Let's talk about let's talk about the SEC tournament. UK winning the 2 games. They made it to the no.
So
The SEC tournament. No. They lost. Let's go. Let's get into the NCAA tournament. Let's get into because UK really didn't. They didn't provide any magic. They were who they were.
So, but first, let me ask you this: how happy was you with Mark Pope's first season?
He exceeded expectations for me. I had no expectations. Even the wins that we got against Duke, against Gonzaga, the 2 wins against Tennessee, I knew what we had. I knew what we needed to do to be able to win. So I knew if we didn't turn up, early. I'm gonna say that the big men evolved. Carr, he got injured, but he started getting back into shape. Williams got better at his free throw shooting in clutch. But overall, we lacked point guard play. Our guards were slow of foot. So, the bench guards, the guards on
Right.
the bench. So Butler was out hurt. So we were able to exceed with the low level guard play off the bench. If they wasn't scoring shots, Perry and Noah, if they wasn't scoring, they were a liability. Noah was high energy, but he if he wasn't scoring, he was a liability because they was the guards for the other team. You could just see their eyes light up when they came in. So, but overall, I felt like we did what we were supposed to do because he shall remain nameless. My brother-in-law, y'all heard me talk about him. He predicted that UK was going to lose 10 games in the SEC, and I told him, you out your damn mind. And so they did not. They did not lose 10 games. And so, once again, they exceeded they did exactly what I thought they would do. I knew they would get close to 10 losses, but they didn't lose 10 games in the SEC, and they won important games, and they ended up being a 3 seed. So for me, and we made it to the Sweet 16. Calipari hadn't gotten us to the Sweet 16 since 2019.
Right.
So overall, his scorecard for me is I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say an A minus.
Okay.
I'm gonna say an A minus because we should have beaten Tennessee. We should. All we had to do was in the tournament. I know you're gonna get to that, but I'm gonna close it on that. On my point that. In the Sweet 16, we lost to Tennessee, but the only reason we lost is because they didn't block out, and all we had to do was block out. And I'll express my theory when we get into the NCAA tournament why that holds true.
So I'm gonna go a step below you. I'm gonna say about a B plus for me. And there was just certain things in the rotation that I see he didn't really change that I wanted to see him change. So putting more Carr on the top of the key and Williams down low. Running picks through Carr and then having Williams down below. Because it especially when we got to Tennessee, like you was talking about, when we got to Tennessee, that was working. They couldn't hold them. Then they kind of shied away from that. That's where it kind of.
But you got to remember, you have to remember, Carr's back injury limited that. For him, remember he couldn't bang for a long time.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. That's like getting him out of the paint, like getting him on top of the key where he's just either doing a little setup for a pick and roll,
but that's not his game.
Or pick and roll and then leaking out to hit that 3 like he did. Because Williams ain't built for that.
No,
like he's not built for that. He's not built to be a ball handler. He's the type of person that you can have him run up from coast to coast. And making that layup or making that in play, but he's not that person to run the ball. And that's where I was like, get the ball out of his hands in these situations.
Okay, but here's the thing, Williams, he has to. So you're saying that he should have brought Carr out or let him go low?
No, you bring Carr out and let Williams.
But how can you do that if Williams is getting 5 and 6 assists a game on the back door? That's so it's kind of it's a catch-22. Do you take away the assists for the possibility that Williams is going to go down there, get fouled, and miss the damn free throws.
But Carr was getting those assists too.
Not like Williams. Not like Williams. Not like Williams.
So
Not like Williams. And plus, like I said, Carr wasn't even really getting a whole lot of playing time because he was still recovering from his back. So a couple of games.
well, yeah, but then you had Garrison on the block, and then that right there was weak. Yeah,
See,
I would much
we need
rather,
one of those-
I would much rather had Garrison making that extra pass. You know,
turnover machine waiting to happen.
but it just
I mean, I think,
Like I
I
said,
said, I understand what you're saying,
for
but I think Pope. You're saying that you're giving him a B plus because of what Pope,
not
because of the coaching that Pope did with the bigs, which I get that. I get
not,
that.
not just that though. So
Okay.
the other thing too on the B plus was
Do I get to disagree and or agree with you on this?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I disagree. Damn it!
No,
I disagree, bitches.
no, but there's certain coachable moments.
I agree with this.
that
part.
I
I
see that he didn't really do. Like, so there's certain calls he should have took the time to replay it, and he didn't. But that's a catch-22 itself,
Yeah.
because you can either lose that timeout or you can keep that timeout. But it just
I will say he was a roll of the dice coach as it came to, because he shortened his bench at the most inopportune time because Perry and what's his name, Amanur, number 15.
yeah.
They got no time hardly, and he didn't let and Amanur. He just, I don't know. It's like he was in the doghouse. He didn't. I don't know.
And that's
He
the
was
thing,
a valuable
like,
asset
certain
in
players.
in the NCAA tournament and the SEC tournament. You know, we won one, lost the second one, and then the same with the NCAA. We won the first two and lost the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
So
But that's the thing though. Like what I was seeing, like so Chandler, Noah, and Perry are supposed to be the leaders for next season. So
you're talking about as far as class?
yeah,
Because always coming back too.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Guard
I'll
play.
believe that when I actually see that. Like,
Well, he signed the NIL deal though.
oh, did he? I
Yeah.
didn't hear about that part.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got Noah, OA, Chandler, and Perry. It's going to be the leaders of next season.
And then we just talking about guard play because
Yeah.
Garrison's coming back too.
Yeah. So, but Garrison still got a lot of work to do. The other three's got work to do too, but they should have been getting in that. They should have been getting that work as much as possible because those are going to be. I mean, and they're not no slouch players.
They got work during the regular season though, and especially when Butler and then Jackson got hurt. I didn't know. That's why I don't understand why he did stop going to them. That's why I say I think he I think he got desperate.
Yeah.
I think he got desperate instead of relying on what worked for him, trusting Perry. Because I know they could, Perry can't guard, but Noah's always got his hand on the ball. Noah will get you an extra shot. Noah will get you an extra offensive. Noah will block out. But the Tennessee, they're not a team that you played them twice and beat them twice already with Perry and Noah playing. So what was you scared of?
Yeah.
What was you scared of?
And that's one of the reasons why I
Gave him a B plus.
Gave him another B plus. It's because of the, like I said, the coachable.
Damn it, that's
moment.
an A minus to me.
It's because of the coachable. moment.
That's a damn A minus,
Like,
America.
Okay, so you have all these players that are good offensively. He was a defensive player back in his day.
Who?
Pope.
Oh yeah.
So him with being a defensive minded a player should be able to teach and coach more on defense. And unless he had Robertson in there, or not Robertson,
Jackson, Perry is Jackson, Perry, and Noah, and Butler.
Unless he had Butler in there, the defensive kind of wasn't on
Right.
to intensify.
Well, and I'm not saying that he didn't coach defense because players like Perry and Noah, the only thing you can get out of them is team defense because they just slow a foot. You know, they're not going to be able. I mean, that's something that they're really going to have to. As freshmen, I get it
Yeah,
because the game is still kind of fast to them.
Yeah, but that's another thing too. Like when
You can't teach speed.
well, no, but you can switch it up to where you're running the zone and switch it.
And I feel like he did that,
He-
but
he did, but he didn't utilize it like as
yeah.
much as he
Well,
should have.
like I said, so my only question is going to be what changed as far as letting Noah, letting Perry, and letting Amador get clock against Tennessee when he played them the first two games. You know, they were the same team. So that's my only question. What scared you about that when you've already played them twice and beat them? So that was my only knock, other than them not being able to rebound, was him being scared of his bench.
All right, so
But the NCAA tournament,
yeah,
that was a Sweet 16. That was a Sweet 16, and but who'd they play first?
at first, so we had Troy,
Yeah,
which was, I mean, we could have seen how that game was gonna go.
yeah, took care of business.
Yeah, and then
Illinois, that. Now let me give you my take on that real quick. So the one thing that stands out about UK, and they've been like this for years, when they get a week off, they suck.
Yeah.
They suck. Troy could not hit shots. I think if Troy would have hit shots, it would have been a closer game. But they weren't able to hit shots, but you know, they had to settle for three. But I knew that from Friday to Sunday, 3 days, we were going to come out and we were going to be fresh, because it's something about when UK takes a week off that they're horrible. And that was the only thing I was worried about after they knocked off Illinois. Illinois, they looked like, when they played Illinois, they had it clicking.
Yeah.
It was all working. Everything they did, and that's what I'm saying. And he used his bench. He used Perry. He used maybe not used Perry as much, but he used Noah, Amador. I don't know. He just kept taking them out every time he put them in, but you didn't get to see it as much because UK maintained the lead and they was causing Illinois to turn it over.
Yeah.
So I knew what they did against Illinois was going to happen. I knew what they did against Tennessee was going to happen because it had been a week. But I did not see them not being able to not a defensive rebound. That I did not see.
Right.
So that's why, everything that I saw from them, I knew it was going to happen. That's why I give them the grade that I give them, because they became who they were, and they were consistent with that.
Yeah.
Except that damn defensive rebounding, because I knew if we could get into the weekend, we were going to give Houston that work. But speaking of Houston, remember what I said when I said they could UK couldn't block out, right?
Yeah. But before you talk about Houston, I wanted to talk about the Sweet 16, because the Sweet 16 was a little it had an extra story with it that most people didn't know.
Yeah.
So
Calipari?
Calipari left Kentucky to go to Arkansas, right? Pope left BYU to go to Kentucky, and then BYU had to find a new coach and I think pretty much a whole new team, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, but all three teams made it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, with the switch, BYU, Arkansas, and UK, they all did.
So that was interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like you said,
They all got
Houston,
that work. None of them came out of it. None of them came out of it alive.
Yeah, which I'm, happy about that. At least if we didn't make it, nobody else made it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so Houston, man, all right. I'm glad they took Duke down.
I saw that coming. I picked them over. Them
Well,
over Duke.
we even had our little our
I picked
thing,
Florida.
and I said Florida and Houston was going to be in the championship game, which that was end up happening because I knew Auburn wasn't going to get Florida.
Yeah.
Florida's
Auburn,
just too big for them.
Yeah, and we exposed that. Even though Auburn beat us, we exposed that they couldn't play in the post.
Yeah.
So, Houston, it was their game to lose against Florida. They should have, in my opinion, they should have won.
I
They
think
there was they
little-
missed some clutch free throws. They didn't take advantage of the turnovers.
Yeah, it was just that ending that got them. Like when they missed that technical and the free throws, and then they missed that one opportunity at the very last, and then after a while, and this is why I kept trying to tell people about the whole Mark Pope thing, new coach. When Florida lost Billy Donovan, they went through a stretch before they even seen the tournament. We made it to the Sweet 16, and now Florida wins a championship.
Right.
So, I mean, I think with everything going on to where what we had to deal with, we had a good season. The tournament was actually shaped out better than I thought it was going to. Glad Duke didn't get to the final game.
And that's all that matters.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
it just, and then we have one of the new recruits.
We've got like two or three. We got
Yeah.
we got about three.
Yeah, one of them decommitted.
Yeah, so but we got, I believe we have three. I've seen three.
So,
Sounds
but-
like a topic for the next
But
episode.
so we're gonna table that to next week.
Yeah.
But we're gonna wrap this up. It was good stuff, and up next we got Omega Green. See you in a minute, America. Peace.
In the green room.
Yeah.
Greetings, America. Omega Green here. Today's segment of the Green Room is brought to you by Lex Wellness Kentucky.
Hey.
If you have need of hemp products, CBD bath bombs, tinctures, things of that nature, these people have got you covered. I have personal experience. Their products are quality. And if you want to check them out, you can use the code Omega Green for 20% off of all your purchases. So please do.
Hey.
Now, let's get into the Green Room.
The Green Room.
Welcome. Now, subjects vary, but I'd say today I had a very real thought the other day, and that is to kind of open your mind and really think about how comfortable you are with the nature of reality as you know it. Your life, the way that you think about things in general. And when it gets to a certain point, some people might actually ask themselves, at what point do you have to get to admit you may be wrong? Everybody goes through it. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is correct all the time. Many people are steadfast in their beliefs and thoughts and what have you, but I always think about it. At what point is the line for everybody to really acknowledge that, hey, I got it wrong? Some people legitimately might believe something and never accept it. Other people get to a breaking point and they're like, you know what? It's time to backtrack a bit and reanalyze the way that I think about things. So, America, I pose that question to you. In any scenario that you come into, does it ever occur in your mind that I may be wrong? So
That's a real question.
for
That's
you
real.
all, like, what do you all say about that?
I say that it,
What would it
Like
take
when
for you
you-
to admit
for
that you're
me?
wrong?
for me personally,
Yes, for you personally.
it would just depend on the situation. But if it's in a situation to where like it's like a back and forth between me and another person about a situation, in the instance that that person's like proves their point, I can admit fault. I can admit that I was wrong about it if I genuinely didn't have the right information and was going based off the wrong information. Now,
Gotcha.
also, if I wholeheartedly believe something, it will take a slew of evidence to prove me wrong. But at the same time, there's people that you can have the evidence, you can have all the proof in the world, and they still will steadfast to what they believe and never believe you and think that everything you bring is fabricated.
Right,
Right.
now why
So-
do you think that is?
Right.
Because people are stubborn and don't want to see
Right.
the
And
world
so that's
for
the
what
question.
it is, and they want to see it for what they want it to be.
Gotcha.
So the question is, when do you realize that enough is enough, and you know I need to start acknowledging that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And so for me, like I said, I'm the OG in the group. So for me, it was important to see how I was impacting people around me,
Right.
because how you are, how you communicate, how you deal with people, it matters. It matters. And so
I
a
agree.
lot of times some people can accept that, you know, no matter what I say, no matter what I present to this person, they're not going to own it. They're not going to admit that they're wrong. And they're okay with that. They're okay with that because they can say, because some of them are satisfied with the fact that they brought this and they brought that to the table to where it's indisputable.
Yeah.
You know, it's undeniable. It's indefensible, as you might want to say. But but you have to acknowledge they are who they are. Now, from my end, the person that's still trying to deny it, that's what it took for me, because I can honestly say that, you know, I had to realize, like, you know, I'm starting to look like a damn know-it-all. I'm starting to look like, you know, I'm starting to turn people off to me.
Right.
Gotcha.
I'm starting to, and you know, the debates aren't that major.
Right.
You know, the things that you talk about aren't that major. So,
As the kids say nowadays, it's not that deep.
Yeah. Calm down.
Yeah.
It's gonna be alright.
That
yeah,
type shit.
it's not that deep. And so that's what it took for me, because, you know, we've all been in that situation when we don't want to be, especially when we dead set on knowing what we know.
Yeah.
But
facts.
you know, at the end of the day, I'm all about looking at who's in my circle,
Right.
and who I deal with and what they mean to me. So it's easy for me to say, you know what, I need to be better about that, because it's okay to be wrong. It's
Right.
okay. It's okay to be able to say, you know what, he got me on that. But at the same time, I can take in the fact that, you know, I learned something new. So that's what it takes. It takes for you to be able to be better and obtain more.
Yeah. Would you think that basically, so like appealing to people's better nature?
Yeah. So yeah. Now, okay. So now I will say this. So there have been times where I knew that the person I was dealing with,
Yeah.
I knew that there was no way in hell that they was right.
Yeah.
But it
you
wasn't
just,
that
like,
major. So
let them have it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And, you know, now,
Well, I mean, I get
here's the
what you-
thing. Now here's the tricky part about that. It's when they ass be trying to throw that up in your face.
Yeah.
Here you go with that, just like the last day we said it in my mind. I'm like, well, you was wrong then too. But you know, so
Oh, I
at
do.
a certain time, I'm gonna say, well, I'm just gonna have to agree to disagree.
Right.
I'll make it that. But
Gotcha.
sometimes it's okay to let somebody have it. It's okay, even if you know you're right. Because at the end of the day, it's about the people that you are. But if they treat you a certain kind of way, now if they out there being like, this motherfucker's dumb, he don't know what he's talking about. No, now it's different. The game has changed. So
Facts.
that's my take on that.
Facts.
And I'm about the same way. It depends on how who you're dealing with.
Right.
I'll take it back to my stepdad. Like, he just one of those. Just you can't. He's one of those people. Be like, well, look it up.
Hey,
like,
man.
You know what I mean? And I
My
did look
dad,
it up. Like I did look it up. You know what I mean? So it's like
You
you're
were not gonna win that debate ever.
You're not, because they're not happy with the facts that you brought, but they don't have the facts themselves, so they tell you to look it up, and it's like,
Yeah.
well,
It's like, I'm not the
You
one who
look
needs
it
to
up.
know about
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah.
need to know about that shit.
You're the one that did. You look it up.
Yeah.
Like let's say on Rasputin. Yeah, damn it.
But-
Yeah, damn it.
it also brings back the point of what Cha-Cha was saying about, you know, at that point you just gotta agree to disagree, or at least let them have it. But if it's something I feel that strongly that I know, and I know I'm right, until you prove me wrong, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not man enough. I am man enough to say that I am wrong. If it calls for it, I will say I'm wrong.
So let me ask you all a question on your subject real quick and get everybody's. So is there one person in your life, after saying what we said, like sometimes you gotta let them have it, is there one person in your life, no matter what y'all talking about, it can be about tiddlywinks, it can be about red ants versus black ants, that you are not gonna let them have it ever? Is there just one person you say, I don't care if that never talks to me again, I'm not letting him walk away saying that I was wrong and they was right? Do you have that person in your life?
Oh, it's my stepdad for me. It depends on the subject. So anything, it's my stepdad for me. Other people I'm not gonna mention, but yeah, my stepdad is basically the biggest one. I'm like, you know what? I just whatever, dude. Whatever.
Like, when it's your dad, that's the authoritative figure, so it's easy for you to walk away from that. But there's some I'll be like, nah, player, you wrong, man. I don't know why you can't see what I'm telling you.
I mean, especially even like, even like the whole respect your elders thing. But I mean, me and you had conversations where I'd be like, man, come on.
You ain't gonna never be right, bro. I don't know why you even use me. You already know what the rule is. That we gave you this for that. He already know.
But even like, I mean, it's recorded. Like me and Hobby, we've had our discussions early in the season.
Yeah,
so
and this stuff's
we agreed to disagree.
Yeah. But there's some that can get ugly, man. You see it, like I said, and there'll be some stuff like that I'll bring to the Let's Talk About It, where how it got more serious than it should have. Because that's
my stepdad kicked me out of my mom's house. Because he didn't like what I was saying.
He was wrong for that, but that's for another. Because I'm not gonna. That's for another episode. That's for another episode, because there's layers to that too.
Yeah.
So what made you ask the question?
Well, honestly,
what has brought the question on for you?
I think about the world that we live in.
Yeah,
and
I kind of thought that.
The current state of things is one thing, but it's not like everything just fell into our lap. It's like we've slowly been kind of dredging towards this, and it made me think about like, well, what is really like the common root in the human psyche, like about that, where it's like, I mean, that's because what's more human than that? It's like everybody, I guess, likes to be right to some extent, or be very, very sure of their surroundings and their beliefs and everything. But that even then, like, everybody's human, no one's perfect. So when it comes down to it,
you're gonna be wrong at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what is it gonna take?
Some arenas are hidden agendas.
Well, and that's why I said like it depends on.
Yeah, it's a case by case basis.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's also why I'm like, as an individual, not even like anything outward facing, but I want everybody to kind of really just think about it to themselves. It was like, at what point do you pack it up and be like, okay, like, fuck, I was wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Like that.
It kind of brings me in my mind of a certain person that's in office, his supporters, that kind of puts me in the mind of that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Not that he didn't went political with it.
It is what it is.
But that's the same shit to where I'm like, it didn't come out of nowhere. So like before him and anything, it was like for years, it wasn't as bad as it is now. It's come to a head.
No.
But that's also why I'm like,
there's so much stuff that we're exposed to now that we can call authoritative figures, so-called leaders on now.
Right.
That we can say, hey, no, you can't do that because we know you're wrong. We know you're wrong because we saw this person presented this, and not only that, I did my own research and I'm gonna upload this, and so you wrong. So it begs the question, when do you admit, like, come on, man?
Yeah.
For real. You know that, like I said, and we can use politics if we want to, but like you say, it just the social media and internet and multimedia has allowed us to, number one, have a voice and to be able to dispute.
Yeah.
And that's important because we never had that.
Yeah.
The common man never had that.
Yeah, that's right. But hey, double-edged sword, bro. Topic for another time.
Yes, sir.
For
yes,
real.
Sir.
Yeah.
Good stuff,
But
man.
hey, no lie. I mean, I appreciate y'all's feedback and everything. And America, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Like, what would it take for you to get to a point, your breaking point?
We all deal with it.
Yeah, even like on my job, people, you know, people in my chat be like, "Oh, you're the expert." I ain't the expert in nothing. I mean, if you got a question, I'll try to help you the best I can. And if I'm wrong about it, I will tell you. I might get that wrong, but
Yeah, I mean, and that's all I would ever ask of anybody else is to just be like, hey, look at the possibility that you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know, because I do it too.
Good stuff, Omega, man. That was a really good question.
Yes.
Opened my mind a little bit.
But
today.
that question is still open to all of our listeners.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Think
Ask
about
them
it.
that question one more time.
What will it take for you to get to the point to where you will admit that you're wrong?
In any situation.
And not saying that you, are wrong,
Are
but
you going
in
to sell
any
your
situation.
soul?
Not
Or
sell
are
your
you
soul.
Are you going to
He
sell
went
your
deep
soul?
with it.
Are you
Or
going to
gonna
be
sell
an
your soul?
Illuminati
Are you
member?
going to own it? Are you going to sell your soul? Are you going to own your the fact that you don't know what the hell you're talking about?
Are you going to take the red pill or are you going to take the blue pill?
Yeah.
Are you going to sell your soul? You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah. But we will be back momentarily with Javi.
Javi's in the
Pop.
building, baby.
It's culture.
Yeah, what you been waiting for?
You know what? We'll see you in a minute. Period.
Yeah, that's when you check that L.
What? Not no L. Can y'all take his shot so I can get started, please?
All right, hold up. I got you.
Oh, God.
Salud.
Don't we
Salud.
talk about what's in our
Gentlemen.
cups?
Cheers to pop. It's culture.
Yes.
These
Yeah.
bourbon drinkers. Where's the Wanny?
Mm-hmm.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to Pop It's Culture. I'm your boy Javi.
Javi.
And let's get into it.
Javi.
So it's been a little bit of time since we've been over Pop It's Culture, so I got a little bit to fill y'all in on. But I feel like the top of the key, we should talk about something that happened a while ago that's been brought back in part
Oh,
2.
gotcha. See, we're gonna run it back.
Yes,
it back.
we're running it
Run
back.
it back.
We are definitely going to run
Spicy
it back.
ribs
So,
on this one, baby.
I don't know if y'all remember, but back in 2017, there was this festival that was supposed to take place. It was called the Fire Festival. And it was like this big luxury music festival that was supposed to happen.
Like Burning Man or something?
Similar, but it was supposed to be way bigger. It was supposed to happen in the Bohemian Islands.
Holy
The
shit.
Great
Okay.
Exuma is the
Okay.
island that it was supposed to happen on. But it was a fraudulent event, okay?
Oh, got
So
it.
it was put on
Got
and
'em.
organized by an American businessman named Billy McFarland and American rapper Ja Rule. So this event was supposed to be, it was originally organized and created to promote the company's Fire app for booking like musical talent. And it was supposed to take place, this festival was supposed to take place on April the 28th through the 30th and May the 5th through the 17th. So the event was like promoted on Instagram by social media influencers, actors, reality stars, even like Kendall Jenner, Bella Hadid, like these supermodels were promoting this event. So during the weekend that it led up to it, there was all types of problems that like occurred, like the food person, the security people, the accommodations, the medical services. All these people decided to back out, which postponed the event. Well, when the event was actually supposed to happen, they ended up canceling the event. Nobody got refunds. People still showed up. There was nothing there for them. Like, and the event got canceled like day of.
Be
Like people
I
got
spent
there.
my money. I'm gonna party anyway.
There was no
Fuck that.
nobody there ever had wind of this event even taking place. Like there was no
that's
hotel.
messed
Now that's
up.
Yes.
some scary
So, like-
shit, man.
Shit.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, so comes now 2025. Well, he had got prosecuted. He had
Wait, who are we talking about? We talking about Ja Rule?
Billy.
Oh, damn
no.
it. Of
Billy
course, not Ja Rule.
McFarland,
Yeah, not
which was
Ja
the
Rule.
original organizer. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ja Rule did get fined and stuff for it too.
Oh.
But
He got
Billy,
fined.
where he was the organizer, he was the promoter, he put everything up, he put his neck on the line. He got prosecuted for it. He did time. Now he's
Gotcha.
paying restitution to all the people that were out of money for this event. So come 2025, he's now out of jail. He's paying his restitution.
Right.
And he's bringing Fire Festival too. So it's
Oh,
Fire
fuck,
2.
he's gonna do it again.
Okay, so he's paid
like-
restitution for the last like 80 something payments. He's paid his 40 payments. I think that's what he said. But TMZ reports that he plans on having this event. It's legit this time. He kept getting denied the permit to do it. He
I
finally
wonder
got it
why,
passed.
yeah.
He's got this big like person in Mexico that's gonna home the event and promote the event and everything, and they don't bullshit around. This
I don't
is
know.
him
That doesn't
in his
sound good.
in his video,
Second time
right?
the charm.
So
I guess.
that's my question. Do y'all think that this is something that people should feed into? He's done his restitution. He's put in his time. He started to pay the people back. And he says that this festival, most of the proceeds are going to go back to his restitution. So do y'all feel like is this something that people should get a wind of and go towards? Or should they stray away? Or do y'all think it's
I
not?
was like, if it was you and y'all didn't know shit about this, I'd be like, fuck that, don't do that. I'd be like, because if it happens, okay, good for the people that attend and good for him and all that stuff. But I'm basically like, fuck him, dude. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you paid restitution and everything, but it's like it's obvious the type of shit that you be up to and you be doing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, oh, I wonder
Like,
if I
yeah,
can
you're
get these
trying to redeem
motherfuckers again.
yourself. Yeah.
You know, and even then, it's like now maybe he figures I'm famous enough from the last time to where maybe I can actually make some shit pop. Maybe I can
Yeah.
have some people help me put it together. But even then, like anything,
How many
it's
people
like,
are going to trust you?
yeah, well, risk versus reward type shit. But on the other end too, I'm like, well, I don't know if it falls on its face. I wonder how many investors can get some kind of weird write-off or something.
Yeah, facts.
You know?
Facts.
Would I
So,
promote?
who
Would I
knows?
promote it, or
Yeah.
or would I just be like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really know the arrangement or who exactly is putting it
know.
on in Mexico. I'm like, sounds kind of
See.
shady to me. And I'm like,
Right.
at least this time, if he fucks up, maybe somebody will get a hold of his
Well,
ass.
see,
Right?
and see,
You know?
once again, I have to keep throwing that in there. I'm from a different era. You got to show me. You got to show me something different. I mean, paying your dues is paying your dues. I give you that, but
Oh, you're still talking about action, right?
yeah, you gotta,
Yeah.
because who's to say that you're going to connect with the wrong people and slip back into that?
Facts.
So
Exactly.
it takes, and like I said,
So,
You
God
gotta
bless
prove to
him.
me.
God bless him. If he's changed, he's changed. But I don't feel like it's wrong for anybody to be able to say, I want to promote you, but you got to show me a little something first. You give
Yeah.
me some examples. Go
Yeah.
out and do, and maybe he should do that. Maybe he should do some other stuff to show.
Smaller events before
Yeah,
he puts on something
do
huge.
some other stuff instead of trying to go big, but I don't know what his audience is like. I don't know. But I think for me, I think he would lose, he may lose out on the people, on the common man that don't have it like that.
Facts.
That's not able to say, okay, should I risk it all? Shit, I ain't got nothing to lose. Boom, 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 boom. There's some that's gonna need a little more from him to say
Yeah.
it.
But at the same time, I have a distinct feeling that he ain't even worried about getting them people.
Right. But he's got to look at it. He's got to be empathetic and look at it at my side.
Right.
Yeah.
At my side, because that matters. That matters. It has to matter. It just has to. It has to, because you can't come out talking smack and being like Tekashi 6ix9ine or whoever the snitch, and think you're gonna be the same person,
Right.
and be able and bring in
gotta
the same
prove to
audience.
me,
You lost a lot of people. You might have a lot of people that be like, shoot, I ain't doing time for nobody either.
Well,
you
he
know?
claimed he has receipts for this actual event, and he's starting to post those receipts and show people that it's legit. What do you think?
Man.
Would you trust it, or would you be
I
like,
I wouldn't go to that
I don't know.
motherfucker.
See, that's the point. But and that's the say that again.
I don't know, man. It's you can have receipts, you can have permits, but until I see some type of setup, I see something
See,
to go to, I can't trust it.
exactly, and that's the key word, trust, because he has a record now,
Yeah.
and so it is what it is, and so. And you got to understand, everybody doesn't know the legal system. Everybody doesn't know charges, the law, and this and that. And so you're going to see some people that be like, oh, Well, maybe he doctored up these receipts, knowing that it has nothing to do with his charges. But now they see that he's a felon or whatever. They're gonna just associate him with that. He might know some people. Hell, he might know Al Capone. You know, just make up stuff. You know what I'm saying? The common man, when it's about their money, that's what goes through their heads.
Oh yeah, because
That what is he capable of?
different
What
for
is he
regular
capable of?
Yeah, it's very different for regular people, but these are also celebrities that promoted the event. So it's like, do those celebrities get on board again, or are they going to be tested?
I don't know. I
a
feel
little
like
testy with
So the
it.
question is,
for
does his
them-
record matter?
for them,
The
large
money don't
sums of
matter,
money
yeah.
are
But that's
dropping
like,
the
I
bucket.
think that's more who that festival was catering towards, was the people that are with more wealth, like the influencers and people
Oh yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
Do
But
you think his record
If
matters?
you were like, do I think his
Hey,
record
do you
matters?
think
I'm
his-
not going.
And
There
it
you
is.
go.
America, you heard it.
Not just because I'm broke.
There you go.
Well,
So
not
to Harvey,
wealthy
it
enough.
matters.
It does matter because your reputation, you made a lot of money off of this event, and a lot of people risked their jobs, their
Yes.
time, their
Yes.
safety to get there. I know people are gonna give him a second chance, but I wouldn't be one of those people myself.
No,
To be
he's
honest.
got to show you something.
Yeah,
right?
like I need to see an event happen that he's put on that's actually lit, and
Right.
then I might
I mean, it's
consider
kind
it.
of like
Right.
the state of the NBA right now. Like, you don't want to go buy a ticket because you don't know who's playing.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
That's
like
facts.
you gonna spend all that money to go to an NBA game to see a player that you want to go see, and they sitting out on what,
Well,
a Tuesday?
No, I don't think it's like that though. because
Comedic
it's a
moment,
different-
America. Pause. He had his time.
Yeah.
The Sports Junkie Lounge is over.
It's-
We're not
okay.
doing the NBA next.
I'm
No,
just
but I don't
saying.
think,
I'm just
I don't
saying.
think that's the same.
I was just playing.
I don't
was
think
just
that's
playing. I
the
had to
same
throw that
because
in there.
these people, it's not like you're not able to see your artist that you said you want to see. You're not able to go to the event because it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Well,
See,
but that's
that part.
But
that,
that-
that's
see?
something
But no,
you
but
gotta
that's
show
the-
me
but-
something different.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing, though. If they want to go see an artist, like, and they paid for the money to go see that artist,
Yeah, but you got to see that
and
they're.
now the event's not happening.
That's a
That's-
problem. We all on the same
problem.
page.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you also
You
got
gotta
to
show
see,
me
like,
something different.
it's bigger than that because these people, you go see your favorite artist somewhere in the States.
Yeah.
These events are in another country.
country.
Well, it
So you got to pay
Okay,
for that
yeah,
movie. You got to pay
exactly.
for that
No,
ticket.
no,
You got to
no,
pay
don't
for that
depend.
hotel.
It does depend. Like Dropkick Murphys, let's say.
Hey,
So
shout
Dropkick-
out Dropkick Murphy.
So
Shout out.
So Dropkick Murphys, they only play in the U.S. on St. Patty's Day in Boston
Boston.
because they're an Irish band. So say if they go to an event here in the States and you want to go, let's say we wanted to go see that, we paid to go see the event. Now they're not holding the event. Okay, well you just tricked me.
Yeah,
Because
there's
Right,
a
so we're on the same
similarity.
page. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I think we,
It's a
I think
problem.
we could
There's
all
a
agree.
similarity, but
like
it's
the
on a
only
different
time, the
level.
only scenario I would ever go to that motherfucker is if, well, obviously, like if
You
they
show me something
if they
different.
sponsor us and send us free tickets.
Come on, take
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
but
you know
also-
what? As a matter of fact, bloop, bloop, you owe me.
Yeah,
You owe me.
No.
I don't. The next time I'm gonna see you, it should be free because you owe me. You owe me. As a matter of fact, do the right thing. Just do the right thing. Just do the right thing. If you know, of course you got. If you got clout, you got clout. You got clout. But we matter.
yeah.
We matter because the motherfuckers with clout are gonna get in free.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get money from them.
Right.
They're gonna get in free. We matter. So show us something different. Show us that we matter. And then maybe you can earn that respect back. But to jump back into the same format and act like we didn't know what you just did, that's just like a chick saying, you know what? I love you to death. I think we should work this out. And I just caught you cheating yesterday. I love you to death. And I'm supposed to ignore that?
Yeah.
And be like, yeah,
Facts.
you know what,
Facts.
you're right. Yeah, we got these babies and whatever, or we've been together for 6-7 years, forget that you was down on your knees and I caught you yesterday. I think you can change. And you don't have to show me nothing different.
Yeah.
And his number is still in your contact list.
Yeah.
No, you got to show me something different. Excuse me, America, for using that as an example, but that is the best
I'm
scenario.
sure,
I
I'm
could
sure
come
there's
up
some
with.
people
That's
out there
never
that can
happened to
relate
me.
to that shit.
But I'm saying I'm saying you gotta show the common man something different, and that's just
Honey,
how I feel.
Y'all gotta show Cha Cha something.
Something different.
I'm
But
with that.
another question. This is gonna flip to my last little topic before we wrap it up. Do y'all believe that Taylor Swift's fame and lack of presence, or whatever it may be, was the cause of the Chiefs not winning the Super Bowl? Because Kanye West do, and he's
Question.
making it clear.
Oh, fuck him and his opinion.
Thank you. Say that again.
He
Say
said-
that loud.
I said, fuck him and his opinion.
He said on X, I never was allowed to do the Super Bowl because of 3 moments. George Bush don't care about black people. Taylor Swift moment, wearing a MAGA hat. How I feel to be the best living and blocked from the main stage because of being ahead of
Yeah.
my time. And in quotations he put, and I mean all of this before I went full Nazi, of course.
Oh my fucking god.
Nah. Kanye, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna turn the Super Bowl into something
Okay.
and make it about Taylor Swift. Because wait a minute, hold up. I'm gonna say this real quick. Because the thing is, Kanye, have we ever seen you at a Super Bowl? Have we ever seen you at a regular season game? Have we ever?
Hey.
No. When Taylor
Hey.
Swift got with Kelsey, she was at every game representing her, and that's it.
Yo.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So he it ain't about the
Facts.
performance. Was you there?
See, I think, I mean, it's he can't get away with all the craziness that he did. You know what I mean? Like it just, like in the interview wearing the KKK outfit. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
The black
it just,
The black
that.
KKK.
yeah,
All right.
That
it
doesn't
just-
even
Well, hold
freaking
up.
exist.
I thought the question was about Taylor Swift, though. This is my thing. Is
Yeah.
why do we constantly have him absorbing our fucking attention?
But
Fuck him.
Thank you.
So I'm like, if
Thank
the question
you.
was about Taylor Swift
It
and whether
is.
we thought, and honestly, like,
Do y'all
I mean,
think she played a part in
I-
the
no,
Chiefs'
I mean, okay.
No.
mentality or
No.
spirits?
There was
No.
women before
exactly.
Kelsey got with
And
her.
I'm
It
like-
can't be true.
Is it possible? Yeah. Is it probable?
Social media has made
Do
comparisons.
you think it was
versus
because of the pure game, or do you think there was outside sources that played a part in it?
Oh no, I think people
I
are making
mean-
much to do about nothing. I think that's what.
Okay. Much to do about nothing.
Certain things, I think, Vegas does have certain calls on certain things. Hold on, don't give me that head. Don't give me that.
I'm not saying
Don't give me
nothing.
that. Don't give me
America can't see me nodding.
Don't give me that. But as far as the game goes, no, it had nothing to do with it because
All right.
the players played the game.
All right, and we'll leave it at that.
Thanks for that, man.
Yeah. So, what do y'all think, America?
He tried to throw
But
me in
while
there,
y'all
right?
marinate on that,
America, y'all heard. He tried to throw
I'm
me
your
in
boy
there.
Javi,
I'm gonna make it green.
I'm D-Lo.
Cha double C, double H, double A all day, bringing it to you all the way.
and that was us on the rib. We hope we filled your plate and you ate it up.
Yes, spicy. Same ingredients, different flavor.